Welcome back to Senior Break. I'm Dawn Medici with Oxford Township Parks and Recreation, and today joining me is Dan Gar from Health Quest in Oxford. Welcome, Dan.
Hi, Dawn. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Thanks. This will be fun.
Yeah, thank you for coming out today. So, Dan, tell us a little bit about Health Quest here in Oxford, and share with our viewers all that you do for us in the community.
Sure. Well, thanks. So yeah, Health Quest Physical Therapy. We've been around since 2000.
Wow.
And in Oxford, we've been here for 16 years. We started off, our location was right in the village, right across from the Oxford Bank. For the last 6 years now, we've been in our new building just south of there, big A-frame metal roof building just north of Drainer. We've been there for 6 years, so we doubled our space. We added a big gym. We added TVs. All the patients said, "When are you going to get TVs?" So now we have TVs and a bigger gym and a larger area to treat patients. So yeah, we've been in the community for 16 years, and time flies. And Oxford is just wonderful. It's like I tell my friends and family, I said it's like Mayberry. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows a little bit about something, and that just makes it very, very homey and easy for us to do right by people.
Right.
So yeah, so we do orthopedic physical therapy, everything from issues with kids all the way up to seniors, preoperative, postoperative, chronic back pain, chronic neck pain, just about everything.
But this Health Quest is more than just physical therapy. What else do you have to offer to people in the community?
Yeah, so we have like a step down program where when people are done with physical therapy, they want to keep exercising and keep moving, and we preach that. We said, listen, when you're done with therapy, you can't just go home and sit on your couch. You've got to keep doing what we ask you to do. So we have personal trainers that work in our gym. They work with our clients one-on-one or in small groups, or people can just join our gym. It's not as big as the big gyms, so it's a little less imposing, and we have all the equipment, and we're always kind of walking around the gym to make sure if we see somebody who's doing something incorrectly, we can correct them.
Well, that's
just keep
great.
them moving. Yeah.
That's great. And I walked through there the other day, and I was really impressed with what I saw in the gym area. It really looks like it's state-of-the-art equipment, and just big enough and small, like it's like the perfect size, really.
I think so. Yeah, we can't have 40 people in there at once.
No.
The most we'll have in there is maybe 4 or 5, and then people start talking to each other and asking, "Hey, what are you doing? How are you doing that?" And then just kind of helping each other, just like what Oxford does. And people have gained friendships from their gym memberships to where at one point we had these ladies come in to work out in the morning, and their workouts were more chatting than working out, however. But they all went to Tim Hortons after and got not donuts, but they got coffee and sat around and chatted, and they became friends. And that was awesome. That was really, really good.
That is really awesome, because they're getting up, so that movement from their home to their vehicle into your building, they're still moving, they're doing something, and then having that fellowship, or just that sense of belonging to something, and like you said, having friends, and then having some fellowship after, really is also very therapeutic for some.
Absolutely. Part of overall health is the health of the muscle between the ears, and so some of the friendships gained, now they become workout buddies. Okay, hey, you weren't here last week. What happened last Thursday? Oh, I was off. Well, you can't be off because I need you here.
Yeah.
They hold each other accountable, and they work out together, and they form friendships. And then maybe in the winter months they'll come in and use our treadmills and bikes, but then in the summer they'll go for walks on the Pollyant Trail, and
it's
awesome.
Yeah.
We open at 6 in the morning. We're open until 8 p.m. and we have Saturday hours from 8 to 12. So, and most times, we have guys that come in and work out at 5:30 every morning because our technicians get there early to set everything up. So when the lights are on, we have people in the building, and sometimes we stay open till 8:30 if people are working out or we're finishing up with patients. It's not a hard set time. It's if people need us, we're there.
Well, that's great. That's awesome. So I know I'm currently a patient, and I think the staff that's there have been wonderful to me, and just how they balance and make sure that everybody is getting the time that's needed and the information that is needed. I mean, it's run real smoothly. So you do a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a good team.
Yes.
Yeah. We want to make sure people are efficient through their ways. When they get in, go through some exercises. A therapist will work on you one-on-one. It's very important when you go to physical therapy, you have to be seen by a licensed therapist every time to make sure that everything is progressing well, exercises, manual treatment, whatever it may be.
Right.
Ultimately, we're coaches. We're no more than coaches. We coach you on what to do.
Right.
Our goal is to get you in and get you out to do your stuff at home as much as you can, so that you're independent with what you have to do. If something goes wrong, you can always come back or call us. We offer free consultations.
I was just going to ask you about that. How does that work?
So if somebody sprains an ankle or they've had a chronic neck pain or back pain and they're not sure what to do, call us. Come on in for a free consultation. You get about 15 to 20 minutes with a licensed physical therapist, and we do like a mini evaluation, and then we can get you out of that gray zone, like, oh my gosh, do I need back surgery, or did I rip my shoulder? And we can tell you, here's what's going on, here's how we think we can help you. Or a lot of times it's, here, Dawn, do these exercises at home for a week or two, and then call me back, or I'll call you, and how are you doing? If you're not better, then come on in.
Right.
Because we want people to get better on their own.
Right. So to do that consultation, do I have to have a note or a prescription from my doctor to come in initially to do that, or can I just call and schedule something and come right in?
Sure. For a free consultation, you don't need a prescription from a doctor. All you got to do is call us and come in. Actually, Michigan recently passed a law that it's called direct access, so that you can, if you don't have insurance or your insurance copays or deductibles are too high, you can come in and be seen by a licensed therapist for up to 10 visits or 21 days, whichever comes first, without using your insurance or without a prescription from a doctor.
Oh, wow.
After 10 visits or 21 days, then the law and the insurance companies require a prescription. But usually we can get you better within that time, so it works out well.
All right, and you had mentioned earlier too, outside of the physical therapy and then the gym, you do have some classes. So are those classes free to people or do they need to pre-register for those classes? How do they sign up? How do they find out about those classes, or do they have to have been there for therapy to be able to have those classes, or could Judy that comes into the senior center that wants some extra classes, how do they find out about that? Can they participate?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. They can call us. Our gym memberships and classes are just open to the public. The problem is, because the way our building is set up and our physical therapy is kind of in the front of the building, I have a lot of people, even local doctors in the area, who say, I never knew you had a gym back here. So we're trying to promote that more through the Chamber of Commerce, Oxford Power Networking Group, through the Senior Center, to let people know we do have a gym, and it's, like you said, just big enough to be the right size. So for people to sign up for a class, whether it's yoga or Pilates or core bar, we have our classes listed through the event book, the Parks and Rec book. That's all there. They could go through the Parks and Rec and sign up for the classes, or they could call us directly and sign up for the classes. Either way, and if you're not sure, come on in. We'll give you a free trial. Come on in and try a class or two for free. See if you like it, and then decide.
Yes, so great. I know some of the ladies, so the trainers, are out in the park during the nice weather days and offering some classes out in the park in one of the pavilions. So, and it looks like they have a good following for that.
They do. They have a great following, and these ladies, you know, we get some of these younger ladies or younger guys who come into these classes and they say, oh, how can this lady give me a workout? And by the end, they're sweating. They're like, I need water. It's great, because they can work you just hard enough, or they can really push your buttons and get you the workout that you need, and then see the progression. Right.
But it's okay to still be able to come out and participate and know how much you can do and how much you can't do. You still want to be pushed, but you don't want to overextend yourself either, right?
Exactly. We don't want to hurt people, and people don't want to hurt themselves. So just knowing what your limits are, and then they tell you, okay, this week we did this. Now next week we're going to go one step further. And sometimes you take a little step back, but most times you see that progression. And after a couple months, you see, this is where I was. Look where I am now. I'm one pant size smaller. I feel better. I have more energy at 2 o'clock in the afternoon instead of taking that nap.
Yes.
And those are all measurable outcomes that you get from a regular exercise or just movement.
Right.
Procedure you can do.
Right. Well, that's great. So when we come back, Dan is going to talk a little bit about the programs that he is offering at the Oxford Township Parks and Recreation at the Senior Center. So when we return, we will have that discussion. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. If you've put off doctor visits during the pandemic, now is a good time to call your pediatrician and get caught up. Children and teens need regular checkups with their doctor to make sure their development is on track, to talk about nutrition and behavior, and to get the vaccines they need to stay healthy. It's safe and your pediatrician wants to hear from you. For more on children's health during COVID-19, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
Welcome back to Senior Break. So Dan, before the break, we were talking a little bit about the classes that are offered and that they're open to the public. And I also understand that you are involved in the community in other ways and not just the business at HealthQuest. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the other things that you're doing out in the community?
Absolutely, sure. So one of the biggest things we do, we've been involved with the high school sports for years, 13 years. We're involved with the trainers in the training room. We take care of all the athletes, the teachers, the administrators, whatever and whoever needs anything. The trainers will send them to us for consultations or treatment. And I get to all the high school football games. I'm on the sidelines with the doctor and the trainers to help them. I'm personally in the training room every Monday from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock to put my hands and eyes on student athletes who might need another set of eyes and hands looking at them to try to get them on the right track. And lately there's been more and more kids coming in, which is great. So they know that the trainers are busy taping ankles and getting people ready for practice, and now if somebody strained a back or has something to be looked at, that's what I'm there for. So it's been great. And then also with the Chamber of Commerce, and I try to do everything I can in the community to buy local gift cards from restaurants and bars and stores in the local community to give out to patients for different referral things or patient contests. I love going to Victoria's and saying, okay, Vicki, I need 2 more gift cards because people want a gift card to a restaurant, and they said, I want Victoria's, and so I go there and get those. So, and all the restaurants here are great, and they're all very, very helpful and willing to do whatever I want to do to help with the kids or the community. So it's been awesome.
That's great.
And then I try to get to as many basketball, baseball, whatever I can, meetings at the high school to stay involved with the kids. I love the high school sport.
I think that's really great.
It's fun.
That's a great additional added piece for the community as well as for HealthQuest. You're out in the community, people see your faces, and that's going back about everybody knows your name, right? You know, and I think that's great. So thank you for doing that.
My pleasure. I love it.
And keeping our athletes healthy and safe out on the field or on the court when they're out doing their thing. So that's awesome.
Love to do it. Yeah, thanks.
So we would like to keep people safe in their homes or when they're out and about. And so Dan comes out typically 2 to 3 times every quarter, I could say, and shares information on how to keep seniors safe in their homes or when they are out and about. So we have a couple of classes that are free to anybody that would like to participate, and those are held at the Oxford Senior Center. And our next class is going to be on Thursday, October the 28th, and it's going to be on balance and fall. So Dan, why don't you tell us a little bit about what this class is going to be about, and maybe we can get some interested seniors to come on out and join us.
One of the biggest things we see with our patients as they get a little bit older is balance is an issue, and people use canes or crutches or walkers because they don't have the balance. Well, if we can correct some of the balance issues before they get to the point where they need a walker or a cane or a crutch, then we're ahead of the game. So there's a series of 3 classes we've done with through the Senior Center over the last few years. And usually we'll do them in the months that aren't in the summer because people are busy in the summer. So usually fall, winter, once a month we'll do these classes. So the balance and fall class is basically teaching people how to make sure your home is trip hazard free. In other words, making sure the throw rugs or cords aren't in your way so you trip. And y'all know if you've fallen before, it's a split second. Next thing you know, you're on your back on the floor and like, how the heck did that happen? And you get up and you hope you didn't break a hip. So So we try to teach people, number one, how to do that. Number two, how to control the muscles in their core, because every time we move as human beings, we have to have good mobility on good stability, and the good stable base is what we try to teach all of our patients. Whether you're in for a wrist injury, an ankle injury, a neck problem, or something, we teach all of our patients how to control your core, because the more solid your core is, the less chance you have of wobbling over and falling. And also, if you do need to use a cane, crutch, or walker, I get this question all the time. It's like, well, my right knee is bad. My cane should be in my right hand, correct? I said, no, actually, it should be in your left hand. It allows you to have better balance. So these simple tips that we do, and the classes are an hour, and they're here at the Senior Center, and they're free, and we have some fun, and everybody gets a little giveaway thing, and there's questions to be asked. I challenge them a little bit. I show them some of the exercises. I give them some rubber bands to use for exercises, so they can start doing the things they need to do so that they stay upright and not down on their back.
Right.
So
that's great. And recently they've all been well attended, so please don't miss out on Balance and Fall. Again, that's going to be on Thursday, October the 28th from 12 to 1 p.m. And if you're interested in registering for that class, please contact the Parks and Recreation at 248-628-1720, and we can get you registered. And again, that class is free, so please come out and join us.
Sure.
So then we do have another class scheduled in December.
Right.
And that'll be just before the Christmas holiday.
Right.
December the 23rd. And that one is going to be on osteoarthritis. So share with us a little bit about what that one will entail. Sure.
The second of the two classes is osteoarthritis. So a lot of people say, what is arthritis? What does it mean? What is it? How do I get it? Will it go away? Patients call it Uncle Arthur. Uncle Arthur's coming to visit. Arthritis, right? Type thing. So basically, I teach them what arthritis is. And arthritis is basically when the weight-bearing joints of the body start to break down. So the ends of the bones start to break down. It gets a little painful. We can see things on X-ray from a doctor's office to show how much arthritis is in a knee, a hip, a shoulder. And then what do you do for it? How do we get you so you're not in so much pain? And sometimes, a lot of times, it's what you eat. So arthritis means inflammation of a joint. Anything ending in itis means inflammation of. Arthro means joint, itis means inflammation. So an inflamed joint is arthritis. Degenerative arthritis is what most seniors have as they've been on their feet for 60, 70, 80, 90 years, and the joints just start to wear down a little bit. So we teach them what arthritis is, how you can help control it through some stretching, strengthening, water intake, walking correctly. We look at feet and shoes, core strength, and everything that they can do to try to control some of the symptoms of arthritis, and also introduce, if you do need a surgery to be done, whether it's a hip replacement or a knee replacement, what the steps are as far as that goes, and what the rehab is like after a surgery like that. So it's very informative. We just try to get people out of that gray zone of like, what is it? And we tell them what it is so they have better clarity, better understanding of what they're dealing with, and then they can make the decisions they need to make to get themselves better.
Yeah, that's great.
Sure.
That's great. And you had said that there were 3 classes of this series. So the last class, I believe, is Aging with Ease.
Aging with Ease, right.
So share with us a little bit about what Aging with Ease is.
Sure. Aging with Ease is just like it sounds. You can't help but get older. Every minute we live, we're getting older. So how do we do that with having a better quality of life? And sometimes people say, well, when I was younger, I used to cycle 22 miles a day, and now I have a bad back, bad hip, bad knee. Okay, well then cycle 2 miles a day. Walk shorter distances.
Just don't stop.
Don't stop. Exactly. That's exactly it. Keep people moving. So Aging with Ease, we talk a little bit more on what nutrition can do for you, what stretching can do for you, basic yoga, breathing, that kind of thing. You'd be surprised how much you think you're eating healthily, if that's a word. You're eating healthy things, but your body might be turning that into inflammation and pain, and that I just feel tight and sore one day. Surprising on what you think you're eating is good for you, it may not be good for you. You might have to get a food sensitivity test or a little blood test to see. Just as an example, a couple years ago I went to somebody locally and they did that whole testing with me, and I found out the 2 foods that inflamed me the most were avocados and eggs. And I said, brother, that's good for me. And he said, it's good for most people, not for you. So that's blowing up my inflammation. He said, don't completely cut it out, just cut back on what you're doing. So I encourage everybody to go through their healthcare provider, find somebody in the community that can do that kind of thing. And there's a couple of really good people in the community who do those kinds of testings.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right. Well, again, if you're interested in any of these classes, please contact the Parks and Recreation at 248-628-1720 to get registered, or if you have any questions or you would like a consult from Dan Gar at HealthQuest, please contact HealthQuest at
248-236-0035, or stop in anytime. We're open. If the lights are on, come on in and ask all the questions you need, and sometimes we can get you in for that free consultation the same day. So pretty easy.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you for coming out.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Today,
It's fun.
Dan. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And when we return, I have Ed McKenna from Colette Tours that is going to share with you a trip on Santa Fe and California Dreamin'. So when we get back, we'll share that information with you. Welcome back to Senior Break. As I mentioned before break, we'll have Ed McKenna from Colette Tours share with you information about tours that we'll have in 2022, Santa Fe and California Dreamin'. And here is information from Ed.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for the Independence Township and the Oxford Parks and Recreation's California Dreaming trip. And the trip departs May 16th, returns on the 23rd of next year, 2022. So now to the good stuff. California Dreamin', featuring Monterey for the first 2 nights, Yosemite, then from there on up in Tulum and Napa. So Santa Fe, what a destination. Has so much to offer, from history, culture, natural topography. The whole entire city has a feel and a vibe that really cannot be compared with any other city out there that I can think of in the world. And we're going to immerse you right into those areas. And also it has some interesting aspects around it with the Native Indian culture. Also, Bandelier National Monument is a cliff dwelling that goes back to the 12th century, and we're going to take you up there for a hike. What we're going to do is take you on 2 separate tours of Santa Fe. We're going to do an open air tram car tour, and we're going to do a walking tour. You have the Palace of the Governors, which has been the seat of the government since 1610. This is actually one of our oldest capital cities in our country. And also it's the city, or the capital city, that has the highest elevation in our country as well. So we're going to do a locally guided walking tour of Santa Fe's Plaza, which is the historic part of the city. And this is the type of architecture that you're going to see pretty much throughout the entire city. So I mentioned we're going to do an open air tram tour of Santa Fe, taking in the architecture, and we're going to follow it up with a more immersive walking tour. All right, so continue on with the visit to the Loretto Chapel, a former Roman Catholic church turned wedding chapel, now a museum. All right, well, I should mention that Santa Fe is a culinary destination. So we're going to have you roll up your sleeves, don on an apron, and make a tamales at the Santa Fe School of Cooking. And then, of course, afterwards, get a chance to sample and try out your the goods that you created. So from there, it's on to the Turquoise Trail, 50 miles of scenic highway. And the reason they name it the Turquoise Trail is that there are a lot of turquoise stones found in this area, which makes for great handmade jewelry that the local Native Americans are well known for. All right, so from there, we're going to head out of Santa Fe, and we're going to head over to the village of Madrid, right in the midst of the Ortiz Mountains. From there, we're going to venture over to Bandelier National Monument, which is where the Pueblo Indians settled, and they sculpted their homes into these canyons. It's an interesting site to see from a couple perspectives. Number one, it's an interesting hike. The volcanic landscape holds these cliff dwellings, and it's where the Pueblans lived between the 12th and 16th centuries. The stretch of these cliff dwellings goes on for over half a mile stretch. And then we're going to head over to Chimayo for the sanctuary. And it is said that the dirt here has these miraculous healing powers, and the chapel is regarded as the most important Catholic pilgrimage site here in the States. From Chimayo, we're going to visit a Chimayan weaver. We have a choice of a chocolate tasting tour or a major spy tour. So Santa Fe itself is home to over 100 different galleries, and this is the type of architecture you're going to see all throughout. All right, so that's our Santa Fe trip. If you're interested in going, the other thing I want to mention now is that all of our trips from now through April 30th of next year, we're requiring our travelers to be vaccinated, and I believe that will probably be extended at some point past the April 30th. But at this point, that's where we're at with that. I want to make you aware of that. The good news, you don't need a visa or a passport to travel on this trip. You do need valid either driver's license or state-issued ID. All right. And we also have the links to both of these trips. You can contact Independence Township or Oxford Parks and Rec, and they will send you the links, and you can sign up that way. Or they also have the brochures, and you can contact them there, and they will get those out to you. So, and we are holding 10 seats for each center up until October 24th. You can sign up now because those 10 seats are first come, first serve, and save your spot on the trip. And yet you can still change your mind up until October 24th and receive both your deposit and your insurance back. We're going to pick you up at your center, take you to and from the airport. So you don't have to worry about parking in Detroit Metro. It makes it simple and easy. You just need to be able to get yourself out to your respective park, either at Oxford or at Independence Township, and we will take it from there. So thank you for joining us. I hope this works for you. If it doesn't, thanks for at least checking out the possibility and keeping that adventure in your life through the avenue of travel. Thank you. Bye.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that segment from Ed McKenna and Colette Tours on Santa Fe and California Dreamin'. If you have any other questions or you'd like to get registered or would like the pamphlets, please stop in at the Parks and Recreation office in Seymour Lake Township Park, or give me a call at 248-628-1720. Thank you and enjoy your day.
There's a hidden problem going on right now in our community. This past year has created tremendous financial stress on families. Many are having to make sacrifices they've never had to face before. Some are even going hungry. But there's also something amazing going on behind the scenes. Samaritan House, the Manna Food Pantry, Capek's Kitchen, the Oxford Orion Fish Food Pantry, just to name a few. All of these organizations are powered by an army of volunteers, people who give of their time and their money and other resources so that their neighbors, our area families, don't go hungry. And Four County Community Foundation has been there, behind the scenes, granting these organizations money for equipment and supplies to make this happen for many years. But we realize there's more need than ever before. So today, we're announcing a new fund, Feeding Families Forever. This fund is designed to create an everlasting